Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a special edition of NPU Weekly, the weekly webcast show that highlights all the goings-on of Viking athletics. I am your host, Kevin Shepke. I'm joined today by my co-host, graduate assistant Erica Newman. Erica,
Hi.
How are you?
Hello, how are you?
Good. Doing good today. Wish we could have a little bit better weather, but still, we got the sun out here today, and couldn't ask for could ask for a little bit better of a day, but still, we get what we get with this today. But we're here today for the second annual battle at the Ballpark, which is going to take place today. It'll be the North Park Vikings against the Kalamazoo College Hornets. Kalamazoo is coming in today with a 9-19 record. They're on a 4-game losing streak, so they're also trying to get back on the winning streak, as is our Vikings, as they come into today's game with a 15-17 record. Unfortunately, they were eliminated from CCIW playoff contention yesterday by being swept by Illinois Wesleyan in 2 close ball games out at Illinois Wesleyan yesterday. I think the scores were 4-3 and 1-0, so they are out, unfortunately, for the postseason. But Erica, let's just talk about what this means just for North Park softball, being able to come out here and play in just a minor league baseball stadium type of atmosphere. Talk about what this just means for the school as a whole and all that.
Well, it definitely means something major for North Park athletics. This allows North Park to be able to recruit more players. You get to play in the atmosphere at the end of the season. It's a great opportunity for them to come in and kind of get a feel for what it's like to play on the next level. It definitely it's pretty amazing out here, the stadium and the scoreboard, and be able to just have the skybox. It's something that we're not used to here at North Park. So definitely a great idea for the school to really just kind of branch out a little bit and give these girls an opportunity to play on a bigger stage.
Absolutely, yeah. And as you notice, we are both wearing Viking Strong T-shirts.
Yeah.
Today's special day for Zeke Dixon, a 2-year-old boy whose father, Eric, is actually a member of the seminary at North Park. And we're going to be honoring Zeke today. He unfortunately is suffering from leukemia, a very horrible disease for that age, and it's just a horrible thing. But the North Park softball team is raising money through the ticket sales of today's games and for these Viking Strong T-shirts.
Yes.
So ticket prices for today's games are $5, and these T-shirts are only $18. But all the proceeds for these T-shirts go to that leukemia research and awareness, and to the fund that's going on at Swedish Covenant Hospital. But let's talk a little more about this Viking Strong thing that's been going on. Not only has softball done it, but both men's and women's soccer did it back in the fall, and men's and women's basketball did it as well. Talk about just what that means, for being able to do this for this kid, this courageous kid, and what it does just for awareness and research for leukemia in general.
Well, definitely, leukemia is definitely one of those diseases that you can't really control. It's something that happens within the bloodstream, and it's definitely a great idea by the Viking athletic department to really push for awareness and just not just leukemia, but in general, just allowing the athletes to understand there are some extreme forces outside of just playing sports. It gives them a value of life and a different perspective. And growing up, I myself grew up with a mom who was struck with cancer and breast cancer, so I definitely understand the value of being able to see something from a different perspective for other people. And just Zeke is an awesome little kid. He's a vibrant little guy, and just to be able to support the family and just let them know that they have an entire athletic department and an entire school behind them in their efforts. It's definitely great for community service and just community effort, and putting it out there that, hey, we support people who have those type of illnesses and those diseases at North Park.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as we said before, the numbers are disclosed, but at the beginning of the year, the numbers raised at the men's and women's soccer games were over $300 that they raised through raffles that they had, either for T-shirts or different kinds of food, gift cards, and things that were donated to the athletic department for those 2 games that they had played for Zeke. And Zeke has been the honorary captain for all those games. He's going to be the honorary captain again for today's doubleheader. Not sure if he's going to be able to throw out the first pitch, but
no.
maybe he's got an arm that we don't know about. Maybe
he may. I wouldn't be surprised. Those 1- and 2-year-olds can kind of shock you a little bit with how good they are in sports. But they definitely have a T-shirt for him that the ladies have signed for him today. So he's going to get a nice little Viking Strong T-shirt, especially made for him from the softball team. So it'll be pretty exciting.
Right, and those what Erica's mentioning there is those you can't see on our camera angle. There's a T-shirt actually right behind us that's hanging on the dugout that's got all the signatures from the softball team on there. So that's going to be a nice little gift for Zeke to get from the softball team. In addition to Zeke being honored today for the Viking Strong, in addition, this is also the last home games for our head softball coach Dan Goris. He is ending his 18-year career as this is a home game. They still have one more doubleheader against Wheaton College this Tuesday out in Carroll Stream, but this is the end of an era, I guess to say, for Coach Goris as he'll be ending his 18-year career as a member of the Vikings coaching staff, as a head coach of the team. Talking about America, I know you've only been here for a brief 2 years, but just talking about what Dan has meant to this program for the time that he's been here.
Well, I mean, a coach in general means a lot to the program. That's the first person that new recruits are to see, the first person that pretty much the players come to when they need anything. And I know that the softball team is very upset, maybe not upset, but a little bit heartbroken that this was not the year that they were able to go to the playoffs and really honor him in that way. But definitely a great season by the ladies and sending him off after this season. So definitely good luck to you, Dan, and I hope that everything works out the way you want it to. You've been, for the last 2 years that I've seen, the team has really expanded and really grown, and the ladies have really learned a lot as far as softball capabilities. They've been impressing me the last couple of days, so definitely a great job by him and really influencing the lives of these young women.
Yeah. Dan is actually going to be joining us in about 5-10 minutes or so to talk a little about just what he's meant to this program and the experiences that he's had with this program, not only as the head coach, but I know that he was a student at North Park, graduated, I want to say in 1973, was a member of the football team, also coached football and was a member of the baseball team too. So, just all-around great North Park Viking too. So, let's talk about this year's season a little bit more. Last year, the Viking softball team won the Defensive Team Award in all of the NCAA, not just Division III, but Division I, II, and III, all divisions. This year has kind of been a little bit of a struggle on that end, but, just talking about they did lose, obviously, some seniors from that team last year. Just talking about what they were been able to do defensively this year, not as high as it was what they were able to do the last year, but talking about what they've been able to do this year on the field as a defensive unit.
Well, definitely this year we're seeing people in different places. We've allowed some people to come off the bench and get some experience working in different positions that they may have not been accustomed to in previous years, which is really good because then you have backups. You have the opportunity to shift and move people where you need them for different games. One game you may have maybe someone at first base that can be able to be switched to outfield or something in other games. So definitely it gives them an opportunity to move some people around, make some adjustments, and then realize what they need coming into the future. With a new coaching change, things are switching, things are changing. So the team has to shift and adjust in that same manner. But definitely a defensive award last year. This year maybe not as great of a defense, like we mentioned. People are in different positions than normal, so it causes some errors maybe to occur and some decisions to be shifted and changed too. But definitely a great job by them. But they have picked up in the offensive end. Yeah. They've been doing a lot better as far as batting. We've seen a lot of home runs at Holmgren, so definitely a great job by the team and picking up on the offensive end. And now we just need to focus on maybe getting a few pieces, maybe a shortstop, maybe another third baseman, or to really get that inner core of the infield really set for the future to come.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned a lot of the offensive part of things. Nicole Krockman, obviously, one of those being a big part of that. But let's talk more a little bit about the pitching side of things. last year the Vikings had Casey Littell, one of the best pitchers ever to come through this program. Ended up throwing the first ever 7-inning no-hitter for the Vikings in program history. But this year they've got a new player in Katie Ort now, who's a sophomore transfer from University of Illinois Springfield. Obviously it's kind of struggled yesterday against Molly McCready in her game out there against Illinois Wesleyan. But her overall body of work this year has been very, very impressive.
Yes.
Talk a bit about just what Katie Ort now has been able to do in her first year now here as a North Park Viking in the pitching circle.
Well, when you come into a game and you see Katie on the mound, you get a little bit of excitement because you never know what's going to happen with her. She's been a great offensive. She's been a great defensive player as far as pitching is concerned. She's definitely really pushed the bar for the Vikings. She's given them the opportunity to be in that playoff contention this year with almost pitching a no-hitter, really down to the last inning with a no-hitter. But she's definitely doing a great job for the Vikings. She's giving them a little bit more to lean on. I know in previous years we've had pitchers that kind of were a little shaky, a little. It's hard to rely. It's been hard to rely on a pitcher, but this year we have someone we can rely on and somebody we can build from. And that's the important part. Being able to build from her and her skill set. There's really not much to say other than she pitches strikes.
Yeah.
And she pitches strikes, and if we can get that defensive core set to where she pitches a strike and someone hits the ground ball, we can get it to first base for a quick out. We'll be fine as far as getting that no hitter for the Vikings.
Absolutely. In the last half of the show, we're going to talk more about the North Park baseball team, and they are just absolutely on fire right now. They have a 12-6 record in the conference right now. They took 2 out of 3 from Illinois Wesleyan out at Bloomington this past weekend. Just had an unbelievable game on Friday night. Defeated the Titans by an 18-2 score. They scored 10 runs in their half of the ninth inning. Illinois Wesleyan went through 3 different pitchers in that inning. It was unreal. But we're looking at possibly hosting another conference tournament here in the next couple of weeks for Luke Johnson and his guys. But at this point now, we're going to go ahead and turn the reins over to head coach Dan Goris. So, Eric, I want to thank you for joining me at this portion of the show.
Thank you.
We're going to have Coach Goris join us here shortly. So. Can you hear me, Dan?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, sounds good. Okay, we are now joined by head coach Dan Goris, the 18-year veteran for the Vikings, and this Luke. I can't believe I called you Luke. I'm thinking of baseball side stuff things here, but Dan, talk a bit about you and I were talking about this on Friday at the Carthage game. That was being your last home game as a head coach. This is kind of the official last home game for you as head coach. Talk about just your thoughts overall as head coach of the Vikings. Is it kind of a bittersweet thing for you, or walking away from the program, or what are your thoughts now?
Well, I'm going to still hang around and be Katie's assistant next year because it's in my blood. I took over the job 18 years ago when my daughter was a freshman, and I'm always been a North Park Viking, and I'll continue to be a North Park Viking. And the program needed some help. And I thought I could offer some help, and we at least brought some stability and some respect to the program because before that it was pretty weak. And I think I've done my best, and we've had some good players, and I'm hoping hope we could just use that as a building block and keep on improving.
Mm-hmm. Talk about what you've seen from the beginning of your coaching time to now, just how much you have built up the program as head coach and all the assistants and graduate assistants that you've had come through here and all the players you had come through here. Just how much do you have built up the program over these 18 years?
We started off, we had to find a field to play on. We played on 3 different fields in the village of Skokie, so we had to carry all our equipment, never had batting cages, L screens, or all those conveniences. I got to thank Bill Albrecht, whose daughter pitched for me, Stacy, and Bill, he coached for me for a number of years, Stan Cologne, Jenny Smith. They were all unpaid assistants that had other jobs and careers and all that stuff. And it was slow moving, but we started building. We started getting better players, and now we're attracting the serious traveling player that has some real good credentials. And I'm hoping we keep on building because now we have some respectability. When we knock off number 17 North Central and go 8 innings against number 10 Illinois Wesleyan yesterday, and that. So I think the program's pretty good now.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned how much you've built it up. Talking about just what you guys were able to do last year, winning that NCAA Defensive Team Award, not just in Division III, but amongst all divisions, 1, 2, and 3. Talking about just what this team was able to do on the defensive side last year, having a 7-inning errorless streak, carrying that through the season. Just talk about that a little bit.
A lot of that goes to Coach Anderson and just the hard work of the kids. They saw what the good programs have to do and the commitment and the sacrifice, and there's a process, and they started to buy into the process that it's just repetition and just keep working and improving and everything else, and it paid off last year. We also had some very good players last year that we lost through graduation, the Sonia Lees of the world, and we had a very good pitcher in Casey Littell, and they're going to be they were hard to replace, as we're finding out this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you mentioned a couple of the pitchers that were here last year. Erica and I were touching a little bit on what Danielle Warner and Katie Ortnow have done for the program this year. Let's touch a little bit about what Katie has done for the program so far this year. She's probably been one of the better pitchers in the conference, one of the better pitchers just overall this year. And he's talking about what she's brought to the program here after transferring from University of Illinois Springfield last year.
Katie at University of Illinois Springfield was a utility player. She had given up on pitching. She had pitched in high school at El Paso, and she just, with my pitching coaches, Courtney and Jackie, they just worked with her, and she's getting stronger. I just wish it's too bad the season is ending Tuesday, because she's getting stronger as the season goes on. She had Wesleyan baffled yesterday. They had them popping up and 16 times in that first game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's been a pleasant surprise.
Mm-hmm. And we're here for a second year in a row now for the battle at the ballpark. Talking about just what this means for the program, having the ladies being able to play in a minor league type atmosphere here for the fans, and just what it brings to the program for everything and things along those lines.
Well, I know my players have a fun time coming here, and I know you do too, and your staff, because it's a first class facility. It's as close to playing in a major league ballpark as our girls will ever have a chance to, and it's special. And we did it last year with Milliken. We could only get it on Sundays because there's high schools and the Roosevelt University use the stadium, but we've already tried to set up a game next year, April 26th against Olivet. And this is going to be our cause, the Zeke Dixon cause. It's ironic that the Olivet coaches had a child that passed away from child leukemia.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
It'll be a special game next year, and he expressly asked us in Florida when we played him that if we're doing it again next year, that he wants to be here. So that kind of locked it in when I heard about his losing a child like that.
Okay. Yeah, you touched a little bit on Zeke Dixon. Talking about just what not only what you guys have done for him and his family, but just what men's, women's soccer, men's, women's basketball, just the athletic department as a whole has done for Zeke, being able to have him get these kind of experiences from suffering from that unfortunate disease of leukemia.
You learned that we're all blessed with good health, and I got today. I'll have my 3 grandsons here, my brand new baby granddaughter, and he just. The Dixons didn't do anything different than any other young family did, and they got a battle ahead of them, and you feel for them, and you feel for all the kids that have that problem and all that stuff. So, and North Park's a super place. Sometimes it ain't about wins and losses. It's about what we give back, and our thing is we prepare kids for lives of significance and service, and I think this really brings it home when we'd like to beat Wesleyan and get into the playoffs, but I think this is more, and this will be carried on for years to come and all that stuff, what the girls are doing today.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to ask you one more question before you get back into practice with the team. Talking about just the way the ball's been flying out of the park this year. A lot of girls, especially Nicole Krukman, Katie Olsen, just to name a few of them, that have just been knocking the ball out of the park on a consistent basis. Talking about what you guys have been able to do with the long ball this year.
They're also big, strong girls too in that, and and I think we hit the weights hard. We never used to do that before. It was a thing about flexibility, and I'm an old baseball guy and all that stuff. But we really stressed the weights and aerobic and the weight training, and I think we got a couple big, powerful girls this year. And the ball it seems like it's flying a whole lot more than before in that. But yeah. It'll be a difficult day today. It's 210 down the line, 220 to center, and the wind's howling. So I don't think you're going to see any balls leaving the park today.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks so much, Dan,
for
taking the time. And
thanks a lot for everything you do.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
That was Dan Goris, our head coach for the North Park softball team. And we're going to be joined back again here shortly by Erica Newman. Erica's going to be joining us here shortly. Erica, get your headset back on. Make sure you're clean there. Can you hear me there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Just we were talking about Dan. Dan, he had a lot of stuff to say. No, he was talking a bit about. I don't know if we had. You had me refresh my memory, but been all over the place today. But he was talking a bit about how much the girls have been hitting more of the weight room and being more strength conditioning training. And I was talking to him about how much the ball's just been flying out of the ballpark this year. Talking about what the girls have been able to do with the long ball this year for the softball team.
Well, definitely. We've had several girls in several games hit the ball across the fence 220 feet here outside the park, and definitely I wouldn't be surprised if we may get one or two out here today with the wind conditions. But definitely a great job by the Lady Vikings and really in changing up some swings. We definitely see they're swinging harder now. Before we may have seen a little bit more passive aggressive situation with the ladies at the bat, but now it's kind of any man for themselves, swing for the fence situation. So definitely a great job by them, and really just aiming for the ball and knocking it out as far as possible. So
absolutely. For those of you watching, please stay to this NPU Live channel, as we're going to be bringing you both games to today for on NPU Live, as we're going to be starting at 1 o'clock, where Kalamazoo College will be taking on North Park in two games. The first game at 1, and I believe the second game will be shortly after, about 2 hours after, so about 3 o'clock. Greg Sager, our play-by-play announcer, who is right behind us here without a camera shot, will be bringing you all the play-by-play action for the games today. But as we've touched on that, we're going to go ahead and switch gears now, as this is NPU Weekly. This is about North Park athletics, not just the softball, although this is a great day for softball. But let's talk about what the baseball team has done. Earlier this week, they struggled. Last Saturday, because Sunday was Easter, they had an 11-1, 8-inning loss to Augustana College. They were 2 games. They were in a 3-way tie for first place, and they were the first team on the outside looking in. Fast forward a week later, they've got a game lead now in first place after what they did to Illinois Wesleyan this weekend. Just talking about what Luke Johnson has been able to do to turn that around. Even the Benedictine game earlier in the week, where they ended up losing by a 9-4 score. Just talking about what Luke has done to kind of get his guys back up into that winning part of things, and getting back to taking 2 out of 3 from Illinois Wesleyan this past weekend.
Well, Luke is very particular about what moves he wants to make as far as in games, and he's done a great job as far as getting that pitching core really set for this year. We've seen a pretty great rotation as far as his starters and his closers for these games. So definitely a great job by him, and the batting has shifted too. We've definitely seen him. It's kind of a chess match, the CCIW, and in one particular moment you may have been ahead, and then in other moments you may be in the middle of the pack. So great job by him, and really starting off the season for CCIW play and being in that middle of the pack, and it only takes one game. I mean that's for any league, any season, any team. It only takes 1 or 2 games to really allow you to be in that position to really host a tournament for us in our case, or to really win a championship. So definitely a great job by Luke and being able to move his guys. He has about 30 players on his roster, so I would hope that he will figure out some type of formula or some type of shift or wave to really utilize what he has and really get those guys ready and get them prepared for the CCIW tournament, because the Vikings will be there. I don't doubt that the Vikings will be there, and we may end up bringing it home. So definitely a great job by him and moving his chess pieces around, and I think he has a pretty good idea of who can do what and who he can rely on, who he can trust to really close these games out. And it's all about the guys who are the 9 guys who are batting to really support that player.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned just how much pitchers he's got on the team. Nick Soldano actually ended up breaking the career strikeout record in the game on Friday night, the 18-2 victory the Vikings had over the Titans. He had 6 strikeouts in that game and ended up getting 248 total strikeouts now in his career as he eclipsed Jeff Hansen's record. I think Jeff Hansen was on the team about 15 years ago. I'd have to look that up to get my numbers straight. But, we're talking about just not only Nick Soldano. I mean, he had a year of eligibility left. He graduated last year. Now he's in the NBA program. Him and Alex Silverthorne both come back to take a year of graduate school, to finish their graduate school, and just to come back and be a part of what could be a really special season for North Park this year. Just talk about what Nick Soldano and Alex Silverthorne have done being fifth-year guys here on the team now.
Well, you have to think about it too, Kevin. They've had a really great team last year too, and you can see the mixture of talent and a mixture of guys that were recruited. And Nick and Alex have seen that, and they wanted to be a part of this group. It's a special team. It's a special group of guys. I have the opportunity to be in the dugout with them during games, so I definitely see from firsthand it's definitely something there. And I think they saw that at the end of last year, and they decided, you know what, we're going to come back and we're going to do something special here for the Vikings. We have the opportunity, we have the guys, we have the squad to really take over CCIW for this year, and that's what they saw, and they wanted to be a part of it. In college play, you only get so many opportunities to really take over a start and really be the go-to guy for a team. So he saw Nick and Alex saw that they were going to be the go-to guys for this year, and they took advantage of that opportunity, came back, and you see the result of it. We're in position to really do something just major here for North Park. We've done it before, but it's great to be in that position again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously everything is going to come down to the last weekend of the series, where they're going to be having 2 games out at Wheaton, 1 more game at home on Friday night, May 2nd, 7 o'clock against the Thunder out there. So that's going to be senior night, so hopefully you can join us out at the ballpark for that game. Unfortunately, we can't bring you video for that, but we will be bringing you audio play-by-play for those games, as well as live stats for those games. So, but I guess this is a wrap for us today. And Erica, I want to again come on out if you're watching us online. Come on out and support us. Support the cause for leukemia awareness research. We're going to be honoring Zeke Dixon today. This is quiet, but we're going to be honoring Dan Goris at the end of the games today. So make sure you tune in for that if you can't be here. But if you can get a chance to come out here, it is somewhat of a beautiful day out here. So again, Erica, I want to thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you,
here
Kevin.
Today on NPU Weekly. And this is a wrap. So thanks so much, guys, for taking the time.
See you guys.